Well, hello, we're back here with another teen-tested craft, and I'm Mrs. Neiman from the Carlsbad Public Library. I'm here with Candle Kitchens, who just graduated from Carlsbad High School. Woo, woo, woo. So this is going to be our final teen tested craft tutorial for the summer, and I think you're really going to like it. We're going to make a cool pillow for you out of your favorite t-shirt. So your favorite t-shirt is probably the one that you have washed a lot of times, so it's super soft, and it's your favorite because you love the color or you love the memories associated with it. But what if your t-shirt has gotten a little too small and it doesn't fit comfortably anymore? We're going to bring it right into your room decor so you can continue to enjoy it. You don't have to throw it away. You don't have to donate it. You can keep it and continue using it in its new life as a pillow. So right here in the other part of the screen, we created a pillow using an old summer reading t-shirt. The slogan, "Build a Better World," is on there. And this craft, and it's got this, it's completely surrounded by the t-shirt, and it's very soft and yummy to cuddle with, and it's on your bed. It looks great. So let's find out what we need. So you've got, we have craft kits available for you to come and pick up if you want to make this craft, if you haven't already picked up your craft kit. So what do we have in our craft kit? Let's see. So you're going to provide the t-shirt, but we are going to provide a pillow form. That's just a basic pillow that doesn't have a any kind of decoration on it. It's just the inside of the pillow. And then we're going to show you how to sew. We've provided the needle and some thread for you. At home, you'll just need to get a pair of scissors, and that will pretty much be all you need for this craft. So let's get started. I'm going to just grab this sample one out of this view. So I'll hold it up a little better so you can see it's a pretty good sized pillow. And up here at the top, we had some extra with the sleeves, so Candle added that as a little added design feature. You don't have to do that. So let's, oh dear.
Yeah, we had a bit of a tangle.
Okay, we have a bit of a tangle. I'll help with that.
I'm going to go ahead and open up the pillow form right here.
I'm going to untangle this thread. Or maybe start over with new thread. Wow, that is an excellent knot. I think.
And as you can see, it's just like the basic inside of a pillow. It's even got the zipper over here, so if you need to like take the.
Oh, I didn't know that one had a zipper.
Oh,
I don't know.
This one you might not want to empty this one out because it's got fluff.
You might not have exactly the same one. I don't know, but so we got them from a couple different places. So.
Or if you have like some spare fabric and you have the polyfill or something like that, you can make your own pillow form.
You sure could.
Also gonna take
you want to take that off?
Well,
okay.
Those are your fabrics.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Get crazy with that.
Yeah, we've been raving this whole summer about how
save your fabric scissors for your fabric. Oh, here's the other one.
There.
And the reason for doing that is just to keep your fabric scissors sharp. Dull scissors can cut through paper, but a dull scissors doesn't cut through fabric very well. So here's one thread that we have ready.
All right, so to get started with the actual craft, we're first going to take the shirt. For this shirt, I have this Build a Better World shirt right here. And I'm just going to take the pillow and put it into...
It's like you're going to dress the pillow with a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get the t-shirt and just pretend like you're going to put it on the pillow. Well, you are going to put it on the pillow.
Just like that. And once the pillow is in there, you're just going to want to take the design that you want most prominently shown on the pillow and center it to where you want it. If your shirt doesn't really have a design or has like a design that goes all over, then that works too. Just position it how you like it and save some room.
So don't pull it all the way down. You got it. We're going to want to cover up that neck hole, make a little seam there.
Yeah.
So don't.
You'll want a little bit of the extra fabric. So.
Yes, there you go.
And once that's done and you have it all evened out, and it's a little hard to see. But
let me hold it up in this other
there we go.
view. Okay, so right now we have a little space. It's a little loose up here at the top, and we have sleeve and a sleeve, and we have the pillow ends about here.
Yeah.
So
with that,
back in the other part.
With that, you're just going to find about where the pillow ends, and you'll want to save a little bit of extra room at the end. But once you have that, you're going to take your scissors.
Fabric scissors, yes.
And just cut along the bottom.
So leave a little bit of room to work with because you're going to need to stitch that up, but you're going to also have quite a bit extra, so we don't want to stuff that all into the pillow.
And you don't need to be like super duper even about it, especially since this end will be folded inward for the stitching. You just kind of roughly cut across. I'm doing one layer at a time just so it's a bit more even.
That might be a little easier. Okay, we're almost done cutting.
Just want to make sure to cut across the end here.
And we're not going to be sewing any on the side seams because it is a t-shirt, so it already does have the side seams already sewed up. So we're just going to take advantage of that.
And with that, you have the ending piece.
Okay.
And then we'll just want to take the pillow right back out of there and set it aside. And now that you have your crop top,
yes, you do.
We're just going to take it and flip it around so the design's on the inside.
So inside out t-shirt.
And then we're going to line up the seams at the bottom.
How are you going to pull it back in there? Are you just going to stick it through the neck hole?
Yeah.
Okay. Or you're going to cut that off a little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now we do already have, we're using a brightly colored thread. Hopefully this will show up a little bit better on the video for you. And I would say about a ½ inch seam allowance is okay. If it maybe not even that much.
And you'll want to roll it up just a little bit.
Well, no, I don't think you do because it's inside out.
Oh, yeah.
So you're going to want to take and just stitch it here. And then the rough edge, when you turn it back right side out, the rough edge will be on the inside.
Forgot to mention that you may need some little pins to keep the fabric together.
Put some of those in our kit.
Yeah. For now, I'm just going to use some needles because they work the same way.
So you might want to move your shirt up a little bit. It's not in the...
Okay. So I'm just putting in some little needles to go and hold the fabric together in certain spaces where it's coming undone a bit so that we can hold it together and make sure it's all consistent. That way when you sew it, then you're not sewing two completely different areas of the fabric.
Slide it over a little bit. There you go. So this pinning part doesn't take too long, but it does help you manage the loose, slippery fabric a little bit.
Yeah. And I think one more pin should do it. There we go. And we have our little pins along there.
Yes. Okay, now we're going to get the needle. We've got the needle threaded with some orange thread so you can see. And there's a knot tied in one end.
See that?
Yes.
And then we're just going to make sure to pull the tail a bit so that it's not super long, but enough so that you're not going to be able to hold on to it and use it.
Right.
And we're going to start on one end of our fabric. And for this, we're just going to go in and out with the sewing motion.
Yes, I think that's called a running stitch. So it's really basic, just going in and out. With you don't even have to pull it all the way through. You can just go take a couple of stitches and pull it if you want to do that. Basically, make sure that you're catching both layers of your t-shirt fabric. I'm just threading another needle here in case Kendall runs out of thread. And we are going to do some sewing up at the top of the t-shirt. So she's definitely going to need at least one more. So we're just going to go straight across here.
Yeah, just back and forth, straight across.
And try to be about the same distance away from the raw edge of the fabric as you go across. So your stitching line is nice and neat.
I'm not 100% great at keeping it super neat since this is only my second or third sewing project. So
well, you know, it's okay. You could also do this on a sewing machine if you have one at home and you know how to operate it. This will go really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But we couldn't fit a sewing machine into everyone's kit, so.
Okay, so as you go along and you find a spot that you have a pin, you can just take it out and set it off to the side.
Right.
So you don't want to accidentally poke yourself.
So this would be a task you could do with a friend, or you could do it while you're listening to some music or an audiobook. We have lots of audiobooks available at the library. We have a streaming service called Hoopla, which is great for downloading all kinds of stuff. We've got graphic novels, movies, ebooks, and e-audiobooks, lots of fun things for all ages. Looks like you're doing a pretty good job there.
About nearing a quarter of
the way.
Yeah.
Now the length of your stitches, it can be pretty short, and that will hold it together really well. Kendall's taking sort of a medium length stitch, and that should work too.
If you do too long of stitches, then each one of the little areas that in between the stitches will be a gap.
Yeah, you don't want to leave a gap. So make sure you put your stitches together enough so that there's not a gap when you get the pillow back in there. I mean, if you take a look at clothes that you wear, there's not big gaps between the stitches. So maybe kind of use that as a guide. Okay, I'd say about a third of the way now.
Got one
more pin, take out.
So seeing as how this is our last craft for the summer, Beth, which one of the crafts have you most enjoyed personally?
Oh, let's see, I'm trying to think of what we made. We did the yarn octopus, we did the dog toys, we did the no soap pouch, we did the piggy coin catcher, and the soap carving. And then now we're doing our pillow. So I think my two favorites are the piggy coin catcher and the no sew drawstring pouch, because I thought those looked really cute when they were done. And I thought that another thing about that is I like to make stuff that's useful. So those things both are not just decorative, but they are useful. What about you? Did you have a favorite thing that you worked on?
Out of all the things that I made, I really enjoyed making the little soap carvings and the little yarn octopus. The soap carvings because you really got to take a lot of artistic freedom with them, and you could quite literally make whatever you wanted. Right. And with a little yarn octopus, I just thought it looked so cute with how it turned out at the end.
Yes, it was very cute. And you made one, you could even make that almost into a little keychain or something.
Yeah.
Which is so cute. And that's like kind of an old school craft from way back when. but it was an animal related craft to go with our Tails and Tales theme for the summer. And so that's why we picked that one. I know that in days gone by, people used to make kind of big ones and they put them on their beds for decoration in like a kid's room or a teen room. Just kind of fun. Wow, I would say you're more than halfway on that now. You're getting to the end here.
Yeah, once you get into enough of a rhythm of it, it goes really fast.
Now, are you going to need some more thread? Or are you running out there?
Potentially.
Okay, I've got another one ready whenever you need one. That's the nice thing to remember. If you do run out of thread, you can stop, make a knot, and start a new thread. So even if you don't, be tempted to make pull out a thread that's like a yard long or something that's you're going to get ending up with tangles and things.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Don't get yourself distracted. Be sure you're paying attention because I just poked myself.
It's yes, it's easy to do, and you don't want to cut yourself because needles are sharp.
I know that some people can tend to wear like little thimbles over their fingers when they sew.
You know, I've tried that and they just bug me. I don't like them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do quilting at home, and I have 2 or 3 different ones I've tried. I have one that's leather, and it has a little metal circle on the very end for where you put the needle as you're sewing. I have a silicone one. I have a ceramic one. I think that one's mostly decorative. And I have had a couple different kinds of metal ones. I've tried all these different ones. I think my favorite one is probably either the leather one or the silicone one. They're just a little more comfortable to wear. So if you decide you like sewing and you're really kind of getting into it, you can go down to your favorite sewing supply place and find out which tools you might like to try out. There are a lot of hand sewing tools, and of course there's tons of different sewing machines available. So if you're really curious about it, in the teen collection we have some books about how to modify your clothes or start from scratch by sewing something new to wear, recycling your clothes into a completely unique design that you create yourself. We've got some books about crochet and felt, all kinds of fun things. And we have more even that you can look at in the adult section too. So if you're interested in that as picking up a new hobby, you definitely could find some materials to get you started right here at the library. It looks like you're getting to the end of your t-shirt.
Yep, I'm almost there. It looks like I had just about the right amount of thread for it.
Awesome. That's perfect when that happens. Just go up and down a couple times in the same stitch to kind of secure it. That's another way to do a knot. Or you can just tie a knot, whatever you want to do.
I'm going to do that about right here then.
Okay, it's looking good.
Ooh, there's a thread there.
She's being very careful not to let that little tail end slide out from the needle.
There we go.
All right, here's a pair of scissors so you can snip the end. Put that up a little bit.
Yeah, and then right at the end, we're just going to go right near there and snip.
Okay, now let's hold that up to your camera so people can see. Okay, there's that running stitch going all the way across the bottom of the t-shirt. So, and remember we turned it inside out, so the stitching really isn't going to show too much when you have your have it on your pillow.
So I'm just going to take my arm and stick it in the shirt and grab it at the bottom and flip it inside out.
So now we'll see the design again.
And you'll see that, honestly, if you want to just leave it like this, you could have a bag.
You could. You know, we did a bag craft where we, you know those blankets that people tie out of fleece?
Oh, yeah?
We cut off the t-shirt arms to make handles.
Oh, okay.
And for the bottom, we cut some strips and tied them together like a fleece blanket, and that made a great beach tote.
That'd be really cool, actually.
Yeah, it was cool. We made those a couple years ago for summer reading. All right, now,
So,
what is the next step?
So we're
I've got
going
my
to
sleeves going on here.
Yeah, what we're gonna do is, since we already know that our shirt fits into this pouch area, we're going to go right
You mean
below.
the pillow form fits in the pouch area?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
We're gonna go right below this neckline. This is, I believe, a crew neck, so it has that thicker piece right at the top for the neckline. We're gonna go right below that and cut straight across. And then we're not gonna worry about the sleeves just yet. We're gonna worry about getting this top part sewn together. So I'm just gonna turn that and start to cut along there. And you can even take your scissors and go right here, right below it, and make a little cut like that.
Oh, that's an idea.
And then you're just going to want to go straight across.
So by making a few purposeful cuts, we are creating this cool little pouch or bag. Just put our pillow form in, and then we're going to sew the pillow. Is not, you're not going to have it come out. It's just going to stay in there.
We have yarn.
And you could probably wash it just like that too, because it's a t-shirt, so it's been through the wash before.
Yep, you can definitely, if you have a bit more skill in that area, you could definitely make like a little area where it's not completely sewn, and you could add a zipper or something, so you could take the pillow out and wash the pillow, what would end up being a pillowcase for your little pillow form.
Oh, yes.
So once we get over to the sleeve area, we're just going to go right across, flip it over and go right across from where we left off, just going straight across. So you want to be careful because it's a little thick right there where that's cut. And then once that's done, it should be right along in the same lines as that, as what you previously just cut. Let me lay that out again. There we go.
Now here's a question, Kendall. Do you put the pillow form in and then finish the sewing?
Yeah. So that's why once it's in there, it's kind of stuck a bit. That's why if you have a bit more skill or expertise with sewing, you can definitely add in the zipper so that you could take the pillow out. But otherwise, you might just
sewing in zippers can be pretty tricky. You kind of have to do that with a sewing machine. I guess you could do some Velcro.
Velcro or something.
And you could hand stitch the Velcro strips.
Or if you wanted to, you could always add like a little.
You could do snaps or buttons. Maybe.
Yeah, or tie it maybe. So
yeah. Then
you have this kind of awkward shape that you don't exactly know what to do with. I guess you could just like wear it. I don't know.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
But then you have a super wide neck area right there. And I'm gonna grab the handy dandy pillow form and just gonna hold this open.
So you're gonna put that over your pillow.
Put that right in there.
Well, I kind of like the concept.
Little boots.
Okay, so there we go.
And then
this would be a good place to have some safety pins or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have our, let's see, let's get it into the corners a little bit more.
And then we're just going to take all of this extra fabric and we're going to stick it together like this.
See? And now with our edges kind of folded over this time, since we're working on the right side, you can do a running stitch again. Okay, so hopefully this will, I'll let you keep going there. You might need to turn the whole thing around a little bit. Okay. And if you have a friend helping out, you can kind of help position the pillow as you're going along.
It might even help to, if you don't necessarily want to do the running stitch again, you can always go and switch to an over stitch where you go and continually loop the stitching over the two edges.
That's if you want the stitching to show, you can do that.
Yeah.
I think that's, there's some different kind of stitches you can do. There's also a blanket stitch, which is kind of cool.
This one might even be better for the top piece since the stitching is going to show regardless on this one, and it adds a little bit of an embellishment.
Yes, let me show the sample one here. So on our sample one, here's this one. Now this is the bottom seam where we had it turned inside out. You really can't see the stitching there at all. On the top, this one has a dark colored thread on it. So if you have depending on what color your t-shirt is and what color thread you want to use, we did include some in your kit, but maybe you have some at home that you prefer. So this one kind of blends in, but you see that it does show. I'm trying to get this up to the camera. I don't know if you can see it. So you can kind of see the little seam right there, and then it has an overhand stitch. I don't exactly know the name of that stitch, but there, that one shows a little bit. Okay. All right. How are you doing there, Candle?
Doing pretty good. Just need to work on
The folding part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can do it in little sections at a time where you take the little bits and fold them in and then go and add the little
Do it
stitches.
as you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then just make sure you pull it tight. So
And if you're resting your pillow on a table, let's see, now this one really isn't in the camera, so let's move this a little bit. Okay, so you can see your progress there.
take a little piece at a time, stick it through, and pull. And it adds that little loop.
Okay, that's coming along nicely. I feel like I should start sewing on this end and then we can just meet in the middle.
That would work.
Okay, let's try that. Nice more thread out. Okay, in case you haven't threaded a needle before, it works better if you hold the thread very close between your fingers and bring the needle, the eye of the needle down on top of it rather than trying to hold the long piece of thread and aim at the eye. It just doesn't work as well. The eye of the needle, not the eye of the sewer.
The eye of the tiger.
Or the eye of the tiger. We don't want to hurt. We don't want to poke any tiger's eyes out. Okay. So I'm going to try stitching from this end, just to keep us moving along here.
You want to make sure that with the tail being longer, that you kind of shorten it a bit. You can do that just by pulling, so that it doesn't end up as a double stitch. Well, double stitches might be good for some
you mean
projects.
double thread, double thickness of thread?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that might be good for some other projects. It's not so great for this one.
Well, it's not really needed because, you know, that would be if you really needed to reinforce something. Sometimes when you're attaching a button or something, you want it to be really tough. You might do that.
If you notice, I kind of just took the pillow as I went along and stuffed it more into there, so it's still remaining within the bounds of the stitches.
Yep, the pillow is very soft and pliable, so you can do that. And your pillow will look nice and plump. If you don't have a loose fit with your t-shirt, it will look better.
I'm sure you're noticing all the extra sleeve over here, that's just from the size of the t-shirt and the size of the pillow. Since they're very similar in how they fit, you'll want to make sure that since you're going to have this extra sleeve, that you keep them there so that you can tie off those ends. And I'll show how to do that after we sew the top.
Another thing I would like to point out is that pillow forms come in different sizes. So if you have a younger brother or sister who's got a favorite shirt, you can get a smaller pillow form.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're going to meet in the middle pretty soon here. It's getting harder to hold on to this thing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because the pillow keeps trying to escape our grasp.
Yes, it does. It's a naughty pillow.
Take the seam, squish it in, and it'll start behaving as you go.
Yep, you got to be, and this is where having someone help you, or there might be another way. You could use safety pins. If you have some safety pins, that'd be another option for kind of holding it in place. Another thing that people who sew clothing sometimes do, another technique is called basting, and that's where you take some really giant stitches to begin with, just to hold your project in place. Then you do your actual stitching, and then you remove the basting stitches when you're finished with the getting it in place.
So I am running out of thread on mine, so I'm going to go ahead and go back and forth to make that little tie.
Tie that off. Now you don't have to sew the pillow to the shirt. You're just sewing it.
You're showing
Around it.
You're sewing the shirt to itself basically, and then the pillow will sit comfortably inside.
Yes.
Cut that. There we go.
Okay.
And then I can go ahead and help.
I think I actually did sew it to the pillow a couple places. That's okay. That's okay. It's just our sample, and we're not really in the picture either anymore.
So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to take the camera and just kind of show a closer look at what's going on here.
I'm just kind of folding the edges of the t-shirt in, and then getting the needle in there. And that gives you a more of a finished edge on it. You don't want a raw edge necessarily.
Because then the edges could ravel and you end up with...
Yeah, the t-shirt's gonna come apart if you don't enclose the seam, enclose the raw edges. We're almost done.
And I can show you a closer look at these seams over here that I did. See, it doesn't have to look super perfect, and there's definitely a couple spots where it got messed up a little, but it just has to be that little. You can either do that little looping seam, or you can do over here where it's the in and out seam.
Okay, I've just got about 2 or 3 inches to go here. Oops, and I got caught with my double thread.
Darn it, double thread.
Oh, yes. I don't know if I can pull that loose. There I go.
There we go.
Okay.
And you see, as you go along and get the pillow into the pillowcase, then it starts to behave and stay in there.
Right. If you find that you like hand sewing, you can do, you can learn embroidery and decorate your clothes with all kinds of cool designs. And there's books at the library to teach how to do that. Okay, I think this next stitch will be my last one, and I'm just going to make a little knot.
And she's just going to go in between the seams that she's made to go and kind of finalize that little little things you made.
Okay, so yep, I'm gonna go in the between. I'm gonna give a little loop. I'm just gonna pull it tight. I'll do one more just to make sure. Make a little loop and put the needle right in there. And pull it. Now I can snip it and it won't come undone.
There you go.
Now we got the two seams, the top and the bottom, and it's already looking good, Candle.
There we go. And once you set it up, it'll look like that with the little sleeves on the end. So now I'm going to put our camera back up here. And just make
Oops,
sure
we
that's
lost our, it's just black.
okay. There we go.
All right.
It keeps on dying.
Uh-oh,
Okay. We'll
I'll just hold it.
all right. So now we got our little sleeves over here that need to be tied off. What you can do here is, if you want to, this could be a good spot to put like a zipper or whatever. But for this,
To put a what?
like a zipper or
Oh.
a thing so that you can
Oh,
get
I
it
didn't
out.
even think about that.
It would take a little bit of work, especially if it's a smaller sleeve, to actually get the pillow out.
Yeah, it sure would.
What I like doing is taking your scissors and just cutting the sleeves in half.
Okay.
I'm just cutting along there.
And you cut through both layers?
Yeah, both layers like that. And then just taking both of the pieces, not the thread, taking both the pieces and tying a bit of a knot.
Oh, now that's kind of cool.
And then so it makes for this little cute little bow situation over here. You can even tie it twice so it's extra secure.
I like that.
And then you have that bow there. Just going to do the same thing over here on the other side.
So we cut the sleeve in half.
Just to the little like arm seam here.
Yes, okay.
Tie the pieces together and tie it tight. And then do a double knot. And
That
then
looks great.
you're left with this cute little pillow.
That looks awesome.
And so we have the little sleeves here, the seam along the top that you can see with the little orange tie here, the main design, and here on the bottom you can see how it's a nice closed thing and you can barely see any of the little threads.
Well, that looks terrific. Well done. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed our summer of DIY and tutorials, and I want to thank Candle for her efforts, and I want to thank all of you guys for participating. So try this out. If you want to share some of your crafts that you've made on the library Facebook page, we would love that. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.